What's good, Horror Horde? This is your boy Horror Gamer back with another video for you. And in today's video, I wonder what I'm going to be talking about today. Well, today I'm going to do a video game review. This is my first video game review ever. So this is a milestone of the Horror Gamer channel. My first ever video game review. And what video game am I going to be reviewing, you ask? Well, we know that Resident Evil 2 is only 2 days away. 2! And what am I going to do? What game am I going to review? Well, of course, in the spirit of Resident Evil, it's going to be a Resident Evil game. But what Resident Evil game do you ask? Well, in this review, I am going to be reviewing Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4. So, why Resident Evil 4, do you ask? Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Resident Evil 4 started a trilogy of games that, in my opinion, Resident Evil 4 was a good one, but it spawned 2 sequels that gradually got worse, and then the final one kind of put Resident Evil in a place where it shouldn't have been. How did Resident Evil 4 do that? Well, Resident Evil 4 was the beginning of the over-the-shoulder camera angle. I look at it this way, okay? Right now, Resident Evil is broken up into trilogies. Kind of like Star Wars or, like the Lord of the Rings, stuff like that. You got your original trilogy, which is the fixed camera, tank controls trilogy, okay? Then you got your second trilogy, which is your over-the-shoulder views and your action, basically. It turned Resident Evil into an action game. And then you got your next trilogy, which is kind of like your first person bringing it back to horror trilogy. So, in this review, I'm going to be doing the start of the middle trilogy, which was the over-the-shoulder view. I don't mind the over-the-shoulder view. I actually like the over-the-shoulder view. I think it makes the game more personable. I mean, except for the first person, I think in this era, it made the game more personable. You actually need skill to progress. Like, you don't just click, point, shoot, click, point, shoot. You have to aim. And, headshots, you gotta aim to get a headshot. You gotta be precise. You gotta have a little set of skill to shoot. I love that. Now, Resident Evil 4 is a story of our boy, Leon Kennedy, getting a call from the president to go save his daughter. And he's in, I think it's South America. And the zombies are gone. It's the Los Plagas, which is this parasite basically that infects the human host and turns that human into like a monster. So these people, they're infected by this virus, the Los Plagas virus, and they're still like coherent. They know what they're doing. They're premeditated. They can make choices, They can plan out an attack. And I kind of like that at first. We all know what the original Resident Evil... God, come on. We all know that Resident Evil in the beginning was zombies. Zombies, 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 survival horror, zombies, zombies. Okay. That's what made Resident Evil Resident Evil. Okay. The original trilogy was your zombie trilogy, which was beautiful. Like I said, Resident Evil 4, Los Placas, these crazy people. So basically, you start off, you're in South America, you're driving with these two police officers, and one stops to take a piss, and your mission is simple: go in, save the president's daughter. So you get there, you park, you walk into this building, and you're greeted by somebody standing by the fire. Okay, at first he looks like a normal human being, you know, they talk, and you walk up to him and you say, "Excuse me," and you show him the picture of the president's daughter, and when he gets up, he does this weird thing where instead of getting up and turning and looking at you, he gets up, does a complete spin around, and then looks at you. It's fucking weird. I don't know why they did that. But basically, you get attacked, and that's where the game starts. And this game is you going from the village, working your way to the castle, working your way to getting the fuck out of there. Okay? So this game is really, 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 really good. Really good. Okay? It was actiony, but it still held on to just the teensy-weensy little elements of horror. And it was enough to keep your boy Horror Gamer interested. You know, like at the beginning of the game, you work your way into the village, and you go up, and then the villagers attack. And basically, this is like 4 or 5 minutes of you just trying to survive an enemy onslaught from the villagers who are trying to just murder your face. I mean, these motherfuckers coming at you hard, and in numbers, you know. And then you go into the room, or you go into this house, and you board it up, and then you hear one of the most terrifying sounds in a Resident Evil game. What's that sound, you ask? You hear the sound of the motherfucking chainsaw dude revving up his chainsaw, and you're like, oh fuck. Let me tell you something. When I played that game, and I'm sitting there playing this game, and I hear the sound of that chainsaw getting ready to start up, and I know he's coming for my ass, my nuts get sucked into my throat. Okay? That shit just, oh my god, that makes my butthole pucker. I get so antsy, my palms get sweaty. That is the shit I loved about that. You know, the uneasy tenseness. I loved it. I loved it. Like, you knew that dude was coming for you. You need to get the fuck somewhere because he's coming. You need to get the fuck out of there. You know, because he gonna fuck you up. And there was times he fucked me up. I'm telling you, he get you with that chainsaw, cut your head right the fuck off. Right the fuck off. No, isn't a word. You know, I love that. Resident Evil 4 managed to keep the scary, put the fucking intensity level to like an 8 or a 9. Added new villains. Like there's this one villain in a castle. Okay. Where he's blind, his eyes are sewed shut, and he hunts by sound, and he has these big fucking claws on both hands, and he just swings fucking blindly and violently when you're around. He's almost like a licker minus the tongue and the crawling and minus everything you know about the licker. Okay? He hunts by sound, just like the licker does in Resident Evil 2. And you have to shoot the thing on his back. Well, that's fine and dandy. But when you shoot, it makes noise. And here he comes, swinging and shit. So, you gotta be strategic. You know, this is where skill comes into play and not just aim, shoot, dead. No. You gotta shoot a bell. And when he goes and he starts fucking wailing at this bell, you gotta take a sniper rifle or a good gun. I like the sniper rifle because I can do it far away. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be up close, so it gives me a distance. I like distance, especially with this guy, because like I said, he swings violently. You know what I'm saying? He goes all in. I like to take a sniper rifle, keep my distance, and baka! Hit that thing on his back, and it drops him. I think you got to do that 2 or 3 times. Okay, that's an enemy, and that's another intense moment in the game. El Gigante. The giant troll monster creature. That motherfucker's a bitch, but that's fun. You know, the fucking gigantic super monster fucking alien fish that's in the game that you gotta fight. You're on a boat, you know. You're sitting there fucking throwing spears at this thing. This thing's dragging your boat and you gotta you know. Shit like that's fun. And it still kept the survival horror aspect slightly. But like I said, this was also the beginning of a point in Capcom's Resident Evil life that really put Resident Evil into an identity crisis. Resident Evil 4 was such a great game. I mean, it was. Was it my favorite Resident? No, hell no. We all know Resident Evil 2 is your boy Horror Gamer's favorite game of all time. Was it my second? No, it wasn't even my second. My second favorite was the Resident Evil remake. That's Resident Evil game. My second favorite video game of all time is Onimusha Warlords. Because it feels like, and it's also a Capcom release. It feels like Resident Evil in feudal Japan. That's what I like. What else about Resident Evil 4? Yeah, like I said, the Los Plagas virus, it was different. Do I wish it was zombies? Of course. Yeah. I wish they never would have strayed away from the zombies in Resident Evil 4. But I guess they felt like they had to do something different, that the zombie thing was played out. So they added the virus, and they added basically the crazy villagers. Excuse me. Just woke up. No, it was a good game. It was a real good game. But it was a hard game too, and it was a long game. Like, the lowest it took me saves wise to beat this game was like 63 saves. Like, this game is fucking long, and it's difficult. Trust me when I tell you it's difficult. I'm not, your boy Horror Gamer usually walks, when he does his reviews, he likes to go from beginning to end. Sorry, my dog was doing something weird. He likes to go from beginning to end and tell you every step of the way. Well, video games are a little harder because they're longer, and I'm not going to do that. But I will give you, like, examples. Oh, sorry, my nose itches. Of things that happen in the game, and tell you about certain parts that I liked, parts I didn't like. The one thing about Resident Evil 4, though, that I was kind of on the ropes about was how they turned Leon into, like, Jason Statham, basically. Like, I get it. He probably learned some shit, because he wanted to be ready for the next time something like that happens. But I mean, they made this man fucking just. Sorry, hold on. They made this man like God. I get it. You want to have a badass main character, You don't want Pussy Leon that you had in Resident Evil 2 when he was the rookie cop and everything. You want him to be developed, and you want him to be more of a bad motherfucker. I get that. I can't hate on it too much. Stop with the squeaky toy. Sorry if you hear squeaking in the background. My dog is sitting there biting her pig. Her favorite toy is this pig we got her, and it squeaks. The only gripe, like I said, is they just made him too unstoppable. I mean, if they would have toned it down just a little bit, it would have been more believable. But I don't play video games for believability, you know, like, you know. But I'm trying to think of also the couple. Oh, the one scene that's aggravating more than anything on this planet was the scene in the castle when you had to go up the steps and they were shooting they were shooting flaming fucking balls at you. Or boulders. Oh man, that scene was aggravating as ball sacks, bruh. I had to have died 250,003 times. It was, oh god. And the thing with your boy Horror Gamer is I hate playing the exact same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Pisses me off. But I'm not good enough to get past the parts I'm going to have to play until I do get good enough. And there's a couple parts in that game that I had to redo over and 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 over again. And it was annoying as shit. But I did it. But, no, with Resident Evil 4, the over-the-shoulder controls are awesome. It was different. It actually made you have skill, because now you can aim and you can go for that headshot, that debilitating headshot. And also, I like that you're able to not have to waste all your bullets on the enemy. Like, I know you can do it in the other ones, but like, if you really like, what you could do was, I liked when you can shoot him in the leg, whatever, and then go up and bam, hit him, and then stab him. You know what I mean? Not like the other Resident Evils where you just gotta shoot till they're dead. Shoot him in the leg, knock him on one knee, run up, uppercut him or kick him, and run over and hit him with the knife. I like that. I did that a lot because I came from the old school Resident Evil where you conserve your ammunition because you don't know when you're going to need it. Okay? So you're talking to a guy who in the original trilogy of Resident Evil would run around with the knife a lot or run around the enemies. I didn't have to kill every single enemy that was on the screen. So, but yeah. So anyway, that's my thoughts of Resident Evil 4. If I have to give it a grade. So for me, Resident Evil 4 is a solid 8 out of 10. It was a good game. It was a great game. Don't get me wrong, but it had its flaws, and it's also gonna go down in video game history as the game that started the identity crisis for Resident Evil. Let's face it. Because after this, Resident Evil went more towards action than horror. You know, it went from conserve your ammunition to, hey, we're at the shooting range. Shoot as much as you want. So, but it was still in between action and horror. It held on to enough of the horror aspect to make it a good survival horror game. And it had enough action to really keep you, if you're an action fan, interested in the game. So you can't hate on it. I can't hate on it. But anyway, Horror Horde, I love you guys to death. Thank you. And if you're loving what I'm doing with this Resident Evil series, please don't hesitate to leave a like or a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. If I'm full of shit, let me know I'm full of shit. Just be a part of the group. Be a part of the conversation. But until next time, Horror Horde, this has been your boy Horror Gamer saying, as always, don't fear the darkness. Embrace it.